All right, fam. This is Brother Hatim coming at you live. I'm thinking live. So everything is moving slow now. I sent out the black signal. And I'm about to resend the black signal because for some reason I can't stream on my phone. So excuse the camera picture I'm using straight from my device. I don't know what's going on. And but I did discover something new, so we can go back to watching movies. So sorry I'm late. And I don't know how this is going to affect. The Uber conference, so I'm gonna have to change. All right. Let's see if we will still be able to do the Uber conference. I'm going to open up the line and see if it'll work. All right, cool. Let's see. All right, let's see if it'll work. Boom. Look like it's working. I don't know. I don't know if y'all going to be able to hear me.
On this Uber conference. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. So if anybody's out there, can you let me know if you can hear me? Once again, I want to apologize for the camera. I can't use my phone for some reason. My phone is not connecting, and I don't understand what's up with that. So I will work on that. That's something I'm gonna have to troubleshoot. More shit I gotta troubleshoot. But let's go and get this stream up and running. We will be having our toast and talk. I'm just bugging out, man. I'm truly bugging out. I don't know what's going on now. Let's see if it's showing up. It says I'm showing up on Facebook. But you know, I don't know who telling the truth and who telling lies. Okay, so we live on Facebook. So we're here with the late hour toast. But I did discover something new today, so we're gonna be able to do some experimentations as well. Because now using this camera here, which means I am going to have to pull out my good camera and stream. I'll be able to show y'all what's up on what's on my screen. So I just got to figure out how I'm gonna work this. Give me a second. I need to know if y'all can hear me. If you hear me, somebody throw up a sign. Let me know you can hear me. Let's see if we up on Facebook. Ooh, the picture's horrible on Facebook. Oh my God, I apologize for that. I went out and got these good cameras, and all of a sudden, on the Solstice day, it's not working. So let's go and get everything set up the way we need to get it set up, and keep it moving. I'm gonna see how this picture looks on Facebook. This may decide on how long we go today. Woo! Look at that picture. Oh my God. Oh Lord, have mercy. I can't do that. Let me see if Facebook. This may decide on how long we go today. All right, cool. Woo! Look at that. That picture on Facebook is fucked up.
Yeah, man. Let's get to work.
We don't pay for nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. All right, but yo, I want to make sure the show go on. Hopefully I get stuff fixed by tomorrow. I'm going to be broadcasting live from Divine Conversations tomorrow. And, man, that picture's horrible. Oh, my God. I don't even know if I want to share that. I'm ashamed. But, hey. All right, family. So somebody threw up a heart, so I know y'all can hear me. So I'm going to go back over to where the picture looked a little bit better. You are being seen on Facebook. All right, cool. You are heard on. Thank you, Taul. Man, I once again I want to apologize for this camera. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible, but this is what I got to do for the day. I don't even know what's going on with my system, so I might have to shut down my whole computer and redo some things. But hey, you know what it is. It's time for the toast. Let's get it up. Before we do that, let's send out another signal to those on. Well, nah, if they coming, they would have been here. So I sent out the black signal already. Everything appears to be up. I can't use my Streamlabs right now, which is kind of messed up. But it says I am. Let me see. Am I up on YouTube? It says we up on YouTube. And I know the picture's horrible, but family, I apologize once again. But hey, anyway, we're going to make it happen. We got to do our toast. Lines are open at 614-556-4535. I can't even count on the... Oh, so all my chats got to be from here. Well, actually, the good part about streaming from here is that I don't have to go over there for the other chats. I can just do it right here. Call-in lines will be open. So let's go on and get it started.
Mr. Titty.
Drink your water. Come on, drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink, 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 drink. Or should we say, breathe in, drink. Take that breath. Now, grab your glass for some water. Get your picture of that water. Lift that picture of that water. Simply pour some water. Drink, 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 drink. Or should I say, lift, pour, then drink. Now move your body and drink some water. Oh. Move your body and drink some water. Stretch. Move your body and drink some water. Family, move your body. Drink, 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 drink. Or should I say, move, then drink. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors, fam. Just raise your glass. Drink, 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 drink. Or should I say, toast, then drink. Take your breath and drink some water. Lift and pour yourself some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Breathe, live, move, toast. But remember to stay healthy, family. Breathe, drink, eat, move. Drink half your weight in ounces. Eat a kosher appropriate diet. But hey, take your breath. Lift and pour. Move your body. Toast your ancestors. Drink up. Drink your water. Drink, 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 drink. Drink your water. Take your breath. Lift and pour. Move your body. Toast your ancestors. Drink your water. Family, first off, I want to thank y'all for joining us here on the Congregation of the Mighty, the home of the stubborn minority, the place where your hustle builds muscle. This is the Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Family, this is the Heart of a Simple production. Heart of a Simple production. And this is the Daily Toast, late afternoon edition. And I also want to say happy solstice to all of you. Where we strive to blow up your old paradigm. So, I do not know what's going on. I do not understand the changes. I can't even tell that somebody is watching on YouTube now. Not my computer, but my Streamlabs has gone awry. It's acting strangely on me. But you know what? That's cool because it allowed me, because everything happens for a reason. So now I'm not going to say this happened for this reason, but we're going to go and we're going to do our toast. But I'm going to show you what I can do now that they allow me to. I can mute my mic, or I guess I have to do it beforehand. Ain't that something? Wow. That's messed up. Auto input, video input, resolution quality. Okay, cool. All right. So, I will have to do that. I have to start that from the jump because they will not let me go in while we're live and do that. All right. So now with this right here, I can stream my screen, but I have to start off streaming my screen. And in starting off streaming my screen, that means that, we could talk about other videos and stuff. I'm trying to perfect all this shit. I'm just totally frustrated this morning, family. All right, so let's go and knock out the toast. Lines are open. But let's just do this toast real quick. We can't do the toast real quick because we got a lot of ancestors. The drink that we're going to do today is coconut water. Because I'm about to brew some tea so I can get my fermenting process together, get it popping off. I know I'm late, but my basement is a shambles. So we're going to toast with some coconut water. Don't want to put too much. And hopefully we'll be able to do the show live and if we're not able to do with pictures, of course, we will be able to do it out with Spreaker. We want to give our Spreaker fam a round of applause. They're always there. The Spreaker fam is always there. All right, so here we go. First, giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose to call that Creator. We raise up our glass. We lift our glass. We salute that Creator, and we say, Ashe. From there, family, where do we go? Man, right before Kwanzaa, too. My stuff is, but it's going to work out. It's going to work out, brother Tim. It's going to work out, family. It's going to work out for us. So, we are going to salute our ancestors. We want to shout out Miles Brown, Ms. Ann, Robert Tex, Anna Davis, Herman Brown, Sr., Rosalie Tilly, Georgia, William Walter, Chris Pendergast, and Lead on Chris Hanfin, Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Flora, Montague Pimenel, Normal X, Pat Mile, Ron, Malika Kapoor, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Eda Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusef Weston, Elder Algeny, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., J. Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Studding and Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pulling, the Luxor brother, Ms. Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley, Sr., Ms. Jerry Brunson, Mr. Lonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Renderman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend Jane Smith, Lois Henderson, Kevin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Rain Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Dale Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bert Beatty, Selwell, Levita Farmer, Goso Sue, Shell, Harvey House, Charmaine, Evelyn Theodore Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Chair, Patricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza, Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Mary Esther Keisha Larice, Linda Watson Hammonds, Gerald Giles, Watson, Spell, Slimmy, Seven Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mitchell Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Harry Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavinia Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Pia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quells, Rainier Thornton, Bernice Quells, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Derrida Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Haley Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martinier, Elder Amatet Webman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey Ellen Ohio, Frank Russell and Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs, the second Peter Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy, D'Amico Russell, Denimon Aries, Gina Rupe Jones, Jana Callahan, William Walter West, Nigel Perez, Elder Basiji Fulani, Jim Robinson, Gladys Johnson, Valerie Clark, John and Mary Sullivan, Dirk Johnson, Antonio Johnson, Delise Wallace, DePretis Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry, Wilson Haley, Emma Hines, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Cadney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles D. Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Ransom Evans Sr., Sam Evans Sr., Nayland Blair Sr., Edward Stevens, Sue Stevens, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sensabaugh, Hazel Gasson, Jay Bradley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Cathy, Bradford, Thomas Bradley, also known as Uncle Buki, also known as Gypsy, Reverend Roosevelt Word I, Stacey Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irvin, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Cleavis, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Hallie Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Don Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, Gene Evans, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Aunt Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harry Tubman Case, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino, Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Dorita Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Ada Casey, Thomas Coper, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Frances, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Harrison, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Hughes Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Manella, Alvis Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Ellerton Houston, Led Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, West Staten, Joe Jamel Alls, and Pierce Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Beth Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Remy Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Barbara Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.A. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Mira Ellis, Elizabeth Sanders, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruth Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Urban Sr., Michael Urban, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Carwell Sr., Robbie Lee Carwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rashawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Sheikh Omaha Reed Jr., John Reed Jr., Patricia Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Luis Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Oliver, Masmin Corporate, George Swan, Emmanuel Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles A. Scott, Michael Morgan, Charlie Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Annie Ferguson, William Ferguson, Shelby McClendon. We have Joella Giles, James Carswell, Roberta Adams, also known as Aunt Sis, Elder Shaka McNair, Anthony Brown, Cynthia Johnson, Jonathan Ford, Lottie Gaucher, Cousin Tony, Michael Johnson, James Jimmy Johnson, Barbara Shane Lewis, Ronald Shelton Jr., Damon Todd, Westina Banks, Joseph Bingham Quincy, Mama, Aunt Lady, Abraham Isaac Cundiff, Aunt Barbara Lewis, Renee Johnson, Joy, Ryan Ross Riggins, Jamonte, Marcus Price, Ness Words, Marshawn McHale, Demetrius Beard, Herb Jepson, Ralph Mickens, Ed Walker, Quasi Sample, Candace Simmons, Simon Clayton, Leonard Jones, Sade Garner, Melvin Scott Sr., Clarence Lumpkin, Elizabeth Johnson, Frank Smith, Stacey Trice, Denise Goray, Nathaniel Hassan Turner, Khaled is in transition, also known as Nigel Turner, Demetrius Lewis Flint, Alberta Woods, Geneva Simmons, Daniel Tilley, Angeline Gant, Sharifa, Oscar Kane, Audrey Gripper, Dominique Nichols, Ruthie Lane Johnson, Teresa Sambu, Aunt Maxine, Uncle James, Henry Munger III, Tamara Dowdy, Nicole Harris, Julia Taylor, Richard Bozeman II, Ruth Carter, John Carter, Mr. Thornton, Johanna, Jashandra Lynette Lewis, Henderson Mosey, Charles Jordan, Henry Essex II, Fannie L. Webb, Dan Walton, Aulauti Sue Walton, Emma Walton, James Randolph Giles, Sonny Pete Walton, William Walton, Fred Powers, Elijah Juan Hakeem Nkomo, Alberta T. Davis, Charles Davis, Willie R. Mackey, Dr. Creamy Mackey, Victor Bowden, Drusilla Kitty Berger, Lucy White, Robert Lee White, Emma Jean White, Talton, Roger White, R.L. White, Jesse White, Ruby Jewel White, Johnson Carl White, Desi Woods, Tillar Woods Lennox, Jim Woods, Lizzie Woods, Juanita Alexander Brown, Cynthia Ann Wright, Richard Dorsey, Andy Simpson, Jamara Simpson, Regina Hopkins, Joseph Simpson, Nettie Dorsey, Eleanor Hopkins, Edward Webster, Alice Webster, Ivy Webster, Arnella Willis, Ethel Lane, Samanda Damon, Ethel Marshall, Steve Dougie Shelton, William Bill Walker, Carl Rico Johnson, Kim Gray, Stuart A. Johnson, Edward Young III, Isaac Johnson Sr., Drusilla Murrow, Wayne Young, Christina Young, Thomas Young, Frank Murrow. We raise our glass to all of our ancestors and we say, Ashe. Family, from there, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go and we're going to move to the present moment. We want to give all the Kuumba babies a round of applause. All right, family. We are on the day of Kuumba. I want you to activate your reticular formations. I want you to go out seeking Kuumba in the community. I know that the day is almost over, but you got all night, and this is the longest night of the year. So you should be able to find some creativity beyond the basketball courts, beyond the football fields, beyond just the music. We got creativity all over our community. So, family, activate those reticular formations and seek out Kuumba. Also, on this day, demonic principle of the day is order. Color is orange. Cause and effect is the Hermetic law. Male name is Kwame. Female name is Ama. All right. So we raise our glass to this moment because this moment is all that we have. We lift our glass and we salute and we say, Ashe. From this moment, we move to our future generations, our children, our children's children, on to infinity. We lift up our glass and we salute our children and we say, thank you. From there, family, we move on and we do that selfish toast for you. What is it that you need in this moment to move forward? What do you need in this moment to move towards your greatness? We lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. Last but not least, family, I toast the most magnificent, the most marvelous, the most beautiful, the most inspiring, the most powerful individual in the room, and that is you. And I say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Family. That coconut water, yeah. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I'm not a real fan of coconut water, but hell, I needed a health drink, and I wasn't gonna go buy somebody else's kombucha and shit because I feel like a trade upon myself. I'm really put off that I can't stream to you the way I usually do But the lines are open. I keep the lines open for a couple of seconds, couple of minutes. It depends on the call. 614-556-4535. Wow. All right, so I threw it out there. Dang, I just missed the messages being on the side of the screen. Damn. But I threw it out there in the chat. Hopefully y'all get it. It says that it's showing up on Facebook. It's showing up on YouTube. I really need to see if we are on YouTube because I'm really doubting this shit right now. I'm having problems right now. Let's see. We really on YouTube right now. Are we on YouTube? Oh, I don't have to use my computer for that. Hell, I just thought about it. Why not just go? Since I ain't using this phone, let's just go to YouTube and see if we are on YouTube right now. So lines are open if y'all want to call in. If not, we have completed our toast. And we're staying. Oh, it says we're live. Happy Solstice.
This call is being recorded.
Oh, we on YouTube. Okay, cool. Somebody on the line. Who on the line? Who's joining us on the journey on the line?
Sister Navita on the journey. I'm joining you on your journey today.
Oh, the only one. And I apologize for the horrible picture, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with my stuff, baby. But, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? We got to make it happen. All right. So, what's on your mind, sis? What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? You know, I always like to discuss things that are current events in the news or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I like to discuss is this impeachment hearing thing. I see a lot of people posting about, you know, Trump getting out of office and everything. Well, she is a racist, I believe that wholeheartedly. But I seen a question on Facebook that I'd like to propose to you.
Mm-hmm.
Is how does Trump's impeachment help you as a black person?
Hey, family, I grew up through Reagan and Bush, 12 years straight. Listen, this don't affect me either way because I can ask the same question. How did Bill Clinton's impeachment affect me as a black person? And in fact, we really need to. This is one of the reasons why we got to become politically astute because this whole impeachment piece. This is the first step in the process. He has been impeached by the House, but now it has to be taken through the Senate. So this right now is just paper, so it don't really mean nothing. But I mean, homeboy, the Great Pumpkin is still making political decisions. He's still in power. He still can appoint federal judges. He still can sign legislation that will affect our lives. So right now, is impeachment in name, not in, you know what I'm saying? He ain't going nowhere.
Right.
So no, it don't.
Because from what I understand, what is it? The Senate is majority Republican anyway.
Right, and they going to have to. They're going to have to make that decision. The decision is in his boy's hands. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know. So the question is, how does it affect me as a black man? Listen, my whole stance on all this, period, is reparations. If you see me at the town hall meeting, my solution for everything is reparations. Immigration reform. Reparations.
Can you break down a little bit? Because every time someone hears reparations, they always think money only.
Right.
Can you just break down some of the other aspects of reparations that the Adolf is
talking about?
For?
Now, first off, remember, I'm speaking as Brother Hatim, a member of Gye-Nyame Journey. If you want to understand the reparations a little bit more in depth, go to ADOS ADOS101.com. Once again, that's ADOS101.com. They have a black agenda up, and they also have reparations. But now, when I speak about reparations, me, personally, I understand that we just can't have a monetary reparation piece sent out to each one of us, right? And my reason is different than other people's, because if they send the money out to black people, they just gonna fuck up the money. It's your money. Whatever they send you, whatever you do with it, that's on you. But there are certain institutional, well, first off, we as a black people, and part of the reparation package, we need to become a protected class. It means that all predatory lending, all anything that can harm us needs to be removed. Now, we also, when we talk about reparations, we have to transform the entire government structure. Now, so when I'm talking about reparations, I'm talking about, one, money. Yeah, we do need to get money as individuals. Then we also need money pumped into our communities and pumped into our schools so that we can do what we need, what we are able to do far as improving ourselves. But then along with that money, we have to have the protections, because what has happened in the past, we have seen, damn, hold on. I need a battery. What in the hell is that? Is that you? That ain't not this one. I need y'all to find where that beat coming from. I don't like that beat. We need to make sure that there are.
Oh, that beat is probably that beat might be my, what's that thing called you have in your house?
Fire detector?
Smoke detector.
Is that you? Okay.
That's probably me. I can't reach the shit to put a battery in it.
All right, cool. I'm running around going crazy, but there are.
I'm going crazy because I got two of them doing that shit.
We need government protections. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because we already see how they do us in the criminal justice system. We already see how they do us in community policing. So there's certain protections that we have to have. And then on top of that, we're going to need protections for when we get money, because there's going to be people coming to try to get the money from us. It has always happened. It has always been that way. So as a people, we're going to need the protections. But if you want to have a more in-depth understanding of the reparations, go to ADOS101.com. They did a very, very good write-up on it. You know what I'm saying? About us getting money, but some of that other money, because we're talking about between $7 and $15 trillion. With that money, yes, you're going to get some of it. You're going to get cash. You need some cash. We need individual wealth as individual people. But as a group, we need a certain amount of wealth, and we need certain protections that would allow us to move into society in a way to where we could actually have some more control over our lives and over the lives of our children. Period. You know what I'm saying? But now, let's just jump. Go ahead. I'm gonna go to ADOS1.com and I'm gonna read right off. But go ahead.
Okay, so I know one of the questions I have heard people, because excuse me, I don't hang with Caucasians on a large scale. So most of the people that are on my friends list that I talk to when it comes to reparations are people who are American Africans in this country. So with that being the gripes I hear from them saying that, well, how would you be able to prove that you are an American and an African descendant, American descendant of slavery? Okay, so this is the thing. One of my cousins recently contacted me, and she's been going through our family tree, and she went back 3 or 4 generations. I'm gonna say 4. 4 generations she went back, and was able to find that easily the slave owners in our family tree.
Mm-hmm.
That's how easy that was.
Oh, it's very
not
easy.
Paying anybody. She just used free websites, getting birth certificates and marriage certificates, and was able to go back, I want to say 4 generations, to where she found slave owners of people in our family. So it's not something I think that would be hard for us to even find out because it's not like we have to go back thousands of years
Not at
to
all.
figure out
Mm-mm.
this. You know what I'm saying? It was, they act like this was back in the ancient times,
But the other piece
and it
to
wasn't. It
the other
wasn't that long ago.
the other piece that a lot of people got to realize is that there wasn't a lot of black immigration here until 1965. Yes, we had some, but it was minuscule before that. Black people weren't trying to migrate to America or were even allowed to migrate in America very easily, very easy until about 1965. So it's not, they want to make us think, how can I put it? They want us to think that it's tougher than it really is. It's not, as you said, it's
Right.
not hard. As a matter of fact, just with us compiling the list of ancestors of all the people that we have, some of the ancestors that people have go back to slavery. And for us that are and for our peer group, Navita, you know what I'm saying? We are 2 generations from that. Me and you were born in 3 years after we received the right to vote. You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally, in 1965, it was certain allowances that was given to us. Me and you was born 3 years after that. Shit, segregation just ended about 1965. If it really ended then. Actually, it didn't end then. You know what I'm saying?
No, it didn't end then, yeah.
So this shit still
Because
affects
there
our
was
lives.
desegregation. I lived during the desegregation of schools. I was
Me too.
participated in that.
Me too. And I was
Mm-hmm.
going to write a paper in college on how my neighborhood disintegrated when they started shipping all the kids out. When they got rid of neighborhood schools, I saw my whole neighborhood descend. I seen this as a young man. You know what I'm saying? The park, and it was the park because the kids didn't have time to go to the park no more. So the park just started disintegrating, and it became an open space for drug trade and drunks and shit. When at one point in time, it was always packed, damn near every day, even when it was snow on the ground. But listen, because here go the answer to your question. We demand a new deal for Black America, which includes but is not limited to. We need set-asides for American descendants of slavery, not minorities, a throwaway category which includes all groups except white men. That categorization has allowed Democrats to use programs like affirmative action as giveaways to all groups in exchange for votes. The bribery must end. That begins with a new designations on the census with ADOS and another for Black immigrants. Black immigrants should be barred from accessing affirmative action and other assets other set-asides intended for ADOS, as should Asians, Latinos, white women, and other minority groups. In addition, ADOS hiring and employment data must be demanded for all businesses receiving tax credits, incentives, and governmental support, as well as all governmental agencies, national, state, and local. It is our belief that this will show that there are minimal, if any, ADOS professionals in fields including but not limited to engineering, medical, legal, and tech. Once affirmative action is streamlined as a government program only and specifically for ADOS, the program should be fully reinstituted. The Supreme Court decided wrongly when it gutted the Voting Rights Act. As the Atlanta Journal-Constitution article, "It's time to solve the mystery of the 100,000 mystery votes" indicates. The protection outlined in the Voting Rights Act are essential to protecting the rights of ADOS in America. Reinstituting the protections of the Voting Rights Act is a key part of our agenda. Black businesses only receive 1.7% of the $23.09 billion in total SBA loans under President Obama's SBA, after having previously received 8.2% under President George Bush. Succeeding as an entrepreneur requires capital, so our agenda demands that 15% of the SBA loans be distributed to the ADOS businesses. We seek a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure plan targeted to ADOS communities, included but not limited to the Black Belt, Flint, Michigan. A Reuters examination published in 2016 found 3,000 cities with poisoning rates higher than Flint. Residents of majority ADOS areas that have been poisoned under the federal, local, and state government watch, such as not only Flint, Michigan, but Denmark, South Carolina, and others, must be financially compensated for the benign neglect for the Environment Protection Agency and the government in general. The Justice Department must also institute protections which exact heavy fines and federal criminal prosecution for future offenders. Hold on, because she asked about reparations. I want y'all to hear this shit, right? Because this is reparations. This is what we talking about. Because I know y'all like, where the money at, right? Because we got to make sure the protections are there so that when you get your money, you don't get fleeced. Mass incarceration has wreaked havoc on Black American families. By some accounts, there are literally more Black males in prison than all the women incarcerated on the planet. To give context, there are 20 million Black males, and they largely descended from slavery, while there are 4 billion women globally, both groups producing the same number of incarcerated. The reinvention of slavery through the use of the 13th Amendment is chronicled by Douglas Blackman in his PBS documentary, Slavery by Another Name. It is our position this must be corrected. We demand immediate assessment of the number of ADOS prison populations at the state and federal level. We also demand that there be a review if punishment, bail amount, sentence lengths, amount of time served before parole is being levied at an unfairly high level on ADOS based on gender and race for similar crimes to other groups. We demand that there be real prison reform in the form of investments into counseling, job training, and rehabilitation for our incarcerated. Next point. I'm almost done. In the early 80s, America committed to strengthening the capacity of historically Black colleges and universities to provide quality education. In Executive Order 12320, President Obama undermined that commitment with changes to the PLUS loan requirements. We call for legislation to triple the current federal allotment to HBCUs. Schools like Georgetown, built by slaves, have an endowment of over $1 billion. This is a transfer of wealth from ADOS to whites. Our agenda demands that the federal government fully endow our remaining HBCUs in a dollar amount that meets the budgetary needs of each institution. In addition, ADOS students who attend HBCUs should receive a discount in the form of a 75% tax credit, given that our inability to pay the rising cost of education is directly tied to the racial wealth gap coming from slavery. ADOS who choose school outside of HBCU networks should receive a 50% government-funded credit. Well, I ain't almost done. Y'all, hold on. You shouldn't have asked, Navita. You started. Findings published in the USA Today concluded that top university graduate ADOS in tech, but those graduates can't find jobs in Silicon Valley. Only 2% of the technology workers at 7 Silicon Valley companies are Black, according to the report, and many of those are Black immigrants, not ADOS. And according to a study by Rutgers professor Hal Salzman, American college graduates graduate more tech workers than tech companies need. Hence, the H-1B program reduces opportunity for ADOS searching for careers in technology. The government must strictly limit the number of H-1B visa workers tech companies that flow in each year. Audit the banks to see if there are patterns of racial discrimination in lending and require these banks to extend loans to ADOS businesses. These banks receive bailout from taxpayers and owe a debt to all taxpayers, regardless of race. In addition, banks such as Wells Fargo use predatory schemes historically, not just during the Great Recession, to eviscerate Black wealth. Lending to Black businesses and institutions would be a beginning for banks to redress the harm they cause to the ADOS community. Mandate that the government advertising budget include Black media. There is no ADOS community without or let me see. There is no ADOS community without our own media. Incentivized through legislative action that all major companies spend 10% of their advertising budget with ADOS media in exchange for tax credits. In addition, mandate 10% of the government advertising for governmental agencies, armed forces, and other ancillary programs go to the majority ADOS-owned media companies. ADOS college debt should be forgiven in the same way losses were forgiven for the banks on Wall Street. Those executives oversaw the evaporations of billions in global wealth. ADOS graduates bought into the idea that the key to success in life was an education, and there was a place for us in America, only to find after graduation that we were locked out. We can't afford to bear the burden of a lie. A health care credit to pay for medical coverage for all ADOS. This will cover surgery, pharmaceutical, and counseling needs. As an example, we would like to see a lineage therapy whereby ADOS leadership, in cooperation with licensed therapists and psychiatrists, develop a therapy curriculum to help members of the ADOS understand and manage their ancestral traumas. This therapy should come at no cost to ADOS community. And last,
So
go ahead.
You said this is the last one? Go ahead.
Yeah, last one. This the last point. America has never atoned for its original sin of slavery in the form of reparations. It is our position that the H.R. 40 be fully rewritten to include references to ADOS as the recipient group, cash payments, and additional supportive measures implemented. We need to gather the data on the level of wealth that was lost as a direct result of slavery and the era of Jim Crow that followed. Excuse me, ladies. Go put some goddamn clothes on. It's real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. I'm not playing with you. Stop smiling at me. Oh, my God. Help me. And additional supportive measures implemented. We need to gather the data on the level of wealth that was lost as a direct result of slavery and the era of Jim Crow that followed. The paper, the Economics of Reparation, assessed the value today as Professor Darity, a leading, all right, cool. Professor Sandy Darity.
Well, anyway,
hold on. I want to get the money. Part because I know some people listen and say, "Dang, you say nothing about the money." Professor Sandy Darity Jr., a leading economist and preeminent scholar in the area of American reparations, and Danny Denaya Frank have illustrated using the work of Vedder, Galloway, and Klingman the gains in wealth to white Southerners on ownership of blacks in 1859 was $3.2 million. In today's dollars, the value of that debt is estimated to be somewhere between $5 to $10 trillion, depending upon the interest rate used for compounding purposes. ADOS demands that there be a real review of direct payouts needed to be made to eligible recipients from gathered data and progress be made toward making ADOS families whole. Without these measures being instituted, ADOS are locked out of the country our ancestors built during chattel slavery. Without reforms through the transformative government, we will be left to continue living third world lives in a first world country. The end. Go ahead.
Okay, so you can reference if you want to read them all again.
You want me to read them again? Okay, I'm going back to the top.
What website you read it from? No, what is the website you read that from?
ADOS101.com, and realize that the payouts is the very last thing. We're talking about transformative government to transform ADOS life. Now, go ahead.
Now, ADOS reparations is being called for due to the benefit of one race and the detriment of another through slavery.
Right.
However, in the ADOS piece, they talk about that mass incarceration and slavery masquerading as another name.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we know, the slavery has still continued. So that, to me, especially with that, if we need reparations because of slavery, we got to stop this system, like you said, in the content you just read, of mass incarceration. Because that is, in my opinion, it's the biggest piece that affects us as a people, and people do not realize it, how it affects us, because it is just slavery by another name. While we are approximately 13% of the population, supposedly, and we are almost 80% of the incarcerated, that's a problem. And we have a lot of people wanting to blame, which I see all the time in my timeline, why there's so many single black women. Black women aren't getting married as much as quick or as fast or as whatever as white women. Well, God damn it, we don't have enough men to get married. Some of us are not ever going to be married because of mass incarceration, increased homosexuality, and early death of black men. That's just a fact. And that mass incarceration piece is a big piece because we have a lot of men. I know Kava talked about how we have more men in college than we have in prison.
But we still got a whole lot.
We have a lot of men in prison, nevertheless.
Right.
And we have men in prison that are being broken.
Hey,
I used to people used to say, I can't believe people
put your clothes back on.
have parties for people that come home from prison.
Yeah.
And I used to say the same thing. Yeah, why would you have a party? But you know what? Now that I have an in-depth view of what's going on from a personal standpoint, you know what? That's because they made it out of a system that was trying to break it. If you can make it out of that mother effer and come back sane, you made it, and that's an accomplishment to be celebrated because you came out of a massive plantation and you made it. A lot of them don't come out sane. It's just like coming out of a war zone and you don't have all your wits about you. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different lifestyle in the penitentiary, and it's purposely designed to do that so that you can continue to come back so that you can make that money.
Right.
Everybody and their mama is involved in that, from politicians. That's why you have to watch that documentary, 13. I recommend everybody, and you'll see how deep that shit goes.
So y'all heard it, right?
You have to watch it.
I haven't seen it. And I haven't seen
Slavery
by Another
I think
Name.
DuVernay did it. I want to say DuVernay was involved in that.
But because a lot of those shows,
and it's really sad that we just sit here every day and this shit is going on in mass numbers. And something else I wanted to say too is when we see the things on our timeline about men who did this much prison, they got out of free, they were found not guilty after 5 years, 23 years, whatever years, and they were finally released. They were found, incarcerated unjustly. You have a lot of people, young men, who are going through this system, and they know that they would rather be the person that took the plea bargain for 3 years and say, I did it, than the person that did 30 years and is coming out now as a free man.
Right.
Because those are the type of options that they look at. So just because the person pleaded guilty to something on a plea bargain does not mean they did it. That's why I said there's a lot of innocent men in the penitentiary. But when you have a choice of, okay, look, you can either fight this case and take that chance of being that man who spent 40 years in the penitentiary and he don't get out until he's in his 70s, or spent 25 years and now he's innocent, or I'll just give you the 3 years and you can just say you did it.
Right.
What kind of choices is that?
I mean, well, it's a choice nonetheless, but it's a loaded choice. You know what I'm saying? It's a choice. Is a choice of poverty because you don't have the money.
It's forcing your hand to masquerading as a choice. It masquerades as a choice.
No.
Really,
Let's don't take away the fact that it's a choice. You know what I'm saying? We could say it's masquerade. It's a choice because it's like boom, you can stand on it or you can do these 3 years, and it's done. But then not realizing that when you come out, it's going to be even harder for you because you got the felony on your record and all this shit. So it still is a choice. It's a fucked up choice, but it's a choice. You understand? I mean, because I don't want to. Because
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, because like I said, because I believe that we all have choices. So we make the choices, and we are being forced to make choices that are not beneficial to us. It don't build us. It don't help us. It don't sculpt our communities. We're being forced into positions because of where we stand economically and politically in the system that are not good for us, but is benefiting everybody else. I eliminate you out of the voting pool for 3 or 4 years. I eliminate you out of the economic structure of the country for a few years, and then on top of that, after you come out, I have you segmented or segregated as an individual that will not be able to work within the system because you had that felony. And I know it's some, but you can't say all because one of the things that hit me this morning, Navita, when I was going to ask Kwame, and Kwame, I see you out there. I was going to ask Kwame, is there any argument that he could think about where you could actually use the term all and possibly win an argument? Because when you use a term like all
Caucasians are bisexual.
that's not true. I mean, I could disprove that easily.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? There's no. Well, I mean, I'm quite sure I could find in a random sampling of 10 white people one that is not bisexual.
That has never had a bisexual experience.
Yes, I'm sure of that.
In there, okay.
I mean, because there's no way you could prove that you have that type of knowledge, that you got that in-depth research, that in-depth knowledge to be able to say some shit like that. I know you're just joking, right?
You're right. And you know what? I know some that aren't. Okay. Yeah. So that wouldn't be a fair assessment to say all.
But is there any argument where you could use all and be successful in your argument? Because when you say all the individual has to do is find one chink in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All swans are white.
Not all, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All swans are white. All the motherfucker got to do is find a black swan. It might take a long time, but there are black swans in Australia. And I want to get one. You know what I'm saying? And I brought that up. I can't remember why I brought that up. But you was talking about the whole prison piece. Individual, they have choices, but the choices are limited by the choices are limited by our status as a group in the world. Brother Kwame had several different comments. Let me read these real quick. When we was reading about the reparations, Kwame say benign neglect isn't what is meant malignant neglect. After all, people are being poisoned and are dying from the so-called benign neglect. He also says, now going to our argument about, or the discussion about all, Brother Kwame is saying, all it takes to disprove what is called a universal statement, one beginning with all, is one counter example. Now, because I woke up and just because if I'm correct, the word pan, when you put pan in front of something, it means all, does it not? Pan means all.
I don't know if it means all.
Pan means all. Yeah, look it up. You quick. Come on. You usually quick with those fingers on that old ass phone. Look it up. Pan means all. And I'm gonna leave it right there. Those are because I'm working on something in my mind right now. You know what I'm saying? Pan means all. And you can never say all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's very few. I have never run it. When you say all, you open up your whole idea, your whole argument to be crushed because all it takes is one dissenter. Not even one dissenter, but one counterpoint to your point, and that whole shit is shattered. But anyway, going back, you was talking about the prison industrial complex. I ramble.
Well, yeah, I was talking about reparations, but yeah, it means all. But this is my thing. So we started out with the Trump piece, and then I would like to bring it back to the voting piece. How important is it to us as a people to get reparations taken seriously? And what will we have to do, in your opinion, in the political realm to be taken seriously as Black people in this America as far as with our voting power and wanting reparations? Do we continue to vote for the lesser evils? Do we continue to not make necessary demands and have a loyalty to a party that has not made us a protected class, so they have made others protected classes?
Right.
Also, let me just throw this piece in there. I just seen on the news the other day that Donald Trump, they have the fund for the victims, the families that were victims of 9/11.
He had what?
And the money ran out.
Mm-hmm.
The families who are victims of 9/11.
Right.
He signed into being that they will have a forever fund for families that are victims of 9/11.
A forever.
That's reparation.
That's reparation. A forever fund.
Yeah, it will be forever funded.
Oh no.
So, my thing is, like I said, that's a form of reparation.
Yeah.
Even though the United States, I didn't know that they blew up the Twin Towers or whatever, but
now that's just
they're giving reparations.
Right, but that's United States taking care of their own. They don't consider us.
Right.
They don't consider us their own, and there's a lot of myths that's been fed to people. But one of the questions you asked is it was something about what can we do politically to be taken seriously? Should we be dedicated to someone or something that is not dedicated to us? And should we continue voting for the lesser of two evils? Hell no. First off, now I'm gonna say this to all my family out there: take over your city. If there's enough Black people in your city, you need to be talking. Even if there ain't a lot of Black people, you need to be every conversation you have in some form or fashion. Reparations need to pop up. You need to make people feel uncomfortable about it. You need to be able to talk about it. You need to be able to talk about what it is and why it's necessary. Because this is the major argument, the major thing that is needed by your people here in America. Period. You know what I'm saying? And we need to start having our candidates take it seriously. Now, if they won't take it seriously on the national level, because they are discussing, and it does pop up, and they're finding ways to move around it. They're trying to replace us. They're already showing us, bitch, we don't need you. It's so, sort of like you when you kick it with a bitch, I don't need you. That's what they're showing you. I ain't got to talk about what you want to talk about. I go over to Luisa's house. I don't have to talk with your ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they treat us. And they treat us like that because we allow them to treat us like that. We allow them not to take our issue seriously. We need our politicians, all those that are supposed to represent us. They need to understand that if you do not take what we are bringing up seriously, we're going to make you say, ouch. We don't need to be voting for anyone who is not looking out for us in some form or fashion. It's no longer about us just giving away our vote. We have to receive something for every vote that we cast. What are we going to get? Now, national level is something that happens every 4 years. But in between those 4 years, there's shit that could be happening in the cities. Right? Because like
local.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Listen. There's enough Black folks here in Columbus where we could take this motherfucker over. I'm just saying. And then the bird whispered in my ear.
We had a sister running against, what's the sister's name that's running against Joyce Brady this year?
Oh man, you asked me too quick. I know.
She was at the
Yeah, she was at the meeting with
was
us.
it
Hold on.
not right?
You asked me too fast. Hold on. And there's an
Montgomery,
article.
Madison.
There's an article up about her as well on Gye-Nyame Journey, and you asked too damn fast. That was good, Navita. You brought it right back to local. I mean, now that's national politics, though. You know what I'm saying? Did y'all? I mean, I didn't even realize that the mayor really ran unopposed. Did you know that? The mayor of Columbus ran unopposed.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. The mayor of Columbus.
You didn't see that? I wrote in a name. Yeah.
Ran unopposed. Morgan Harper. That's her name. Morgan Harper is one of those young people.
Morgan, there we go.
Morgan Harper is one of those young people that is in politics. That's in politics that we have to pay attention to. Our brother Kwame threw it up. Morgan Harper, family, those are names that need to ring with us. You understand what I'm saying? And then the mayor ran unopposed, right? A birdie whispered to me that in 2023, all the seats for city council are going to be up for grabs. Hell, the educational seats are out there. We need to go on and start preparing ourselves and preparing our young people to start moving into these positions. So they don't want to take us seriously on a national level. Cool. We'll take over all the cities where we are, a majority, and make these and then send our national representatives from this area with our agenda in their mouth. And when they don't have it in their mouth, then we use the stick of politics and the stick of economics to whoop their ass. You understand what I'm saying, family?
And also,
I'm sorry.
Which we could do something I saw, and I don't know how you do it, but I seen an article where this judge had let this young man go for raping this little girl, and or she gave him a real minimal sentence, and the community was in an uproar, and they had that judge recalled, and that judge had to step down. Now we have judges in this community that are lynching our young men every day in that courtroom with a pen. I'm talking 74 years, 30-something years. I mean, these are young boys on first offense drug cases. That we need to be trying to figure out how we can recall some of these judges. Judge Lynch, she had on her license plate 24 to life. She took pride in the lynching of the men in her courtroom.
You know why?
And she should be recalled.
You know why? Because once again, there's no consequence. As long as there's no consequence.
There's no consequences. Exactly. They don't have any consequences behind what they do.
And we have to develop the political.
We got to start holding these people accountable.
And learn how, like you said, and learn how to do it. How do you do a recall? You know what I'm saying? Some people out there, I never heard of this shit. But it can be done.
I never knew it either, but it can be done.
It can be done. Right? Also, judges need to be voted in too. We need to be deciding on who we want to be judges. And
we
family,
need to be paying attention to these judges that are voted in for sure.
And let me say this. Judges, if it's an elected position, we need to look at the qualifications. Do you even need to be a lawyer to be a judge? We can stack the seats. Because if it's an elected position, the question you have to ask is, do you even have to be a lawyer to sit on that goddamn bench? I know you.
I thought you had to be.
I'm just wondering. Sure. But then once again, you just brought up something that I didn't know. You could recall a group of people recalled a judge, and that judge had to step down. So there's a lot of shit that's happening in politics that could be happening, but it's not happening because we are not politically astute. We haven't figured out how to work the system,
right?
You know, because we've been so used to the system whooping on us that we didn't have time to really get inside and start learning. But now we have the ability, we have the time, we have the technology where we can start looking and start learning how to turn this motherfucker on others rather than always having it focus on us. There's no reason for charges less than murder that some motherfuckers going in court with a first offense should be going and doing any amount of time. I got a friend that's serving he's serving dope man time right now for a first offense. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting up here like, God damn.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh,
I got a nephew he's 22 years old on a drug case, and he was sentenced to 74 years.
Like this
74 years.
Like, so that sounds like he must have been growing that shit in his backyard. He was growing that shit in his backyard.
Well, they say the judge's son had an opiate habit, so the judge took that shit personal when he found out that my nephew was dealing in opioids and shit. So
I mean, listen. My issue is all that shit need to be. There's a way to recall motherfuckers, and I want when, you know what I'm saying. I want when a motherfucker walk into a courtroom with a Gye-Nyame symbol on. I want the judges to kind of shiver and shit.
Get nervous.
I want them getting nervous.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, because that's the way we have to learn how to roll. You know what I'm saying? I be joking with my kids. I say, listen, I need you to become a lawyer because the older I get, the wilder I'm going to get. I'm going to need you to come get me out of jail. They be laughing, Mr. Brown. Say, no, I need you sitting on that bench looking across from me being like, Mr. Brown, why are you in my courtroom again? I can't get out of my courtroom. Let them go. That's, you see, or one of our young people who make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? They got
right.
We got cases of white boys raping motherfuckers, hurting motherfuckers, and they be like, we're not going to allow this little case to affect your future.
Right.
You like, what? You like, what? Are you serious? How much time he got? Nothing. He's on probation. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of numbers I need for when some of my kids make a motherfucking mistake. No, we're going straight into slavery. And it's because there is no consequences. See, what a lot of people don't understand is one of the things that I don't think a lot of people understand is what we are doing is we're forcing the United States to show its real face. That's all that's going on right here. You know what I'm saying? When we look at the impeachment of the Great Pumpkin, what we are seeing is white supremacy rearing its head, right? Because right now, what's going to be made plain for us, which has always, at least in these recent times, been hidden because America's changed. Because when I'm talking to people and I bring up the whole Obama people be talking in this post-racial framework of reality that has never existed for me. So it's hard to even make sense with them because they're coming from a standpoint like we done overcome and we, you know what I'm saying? But we holding the same amount. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, let me hold $10,000 then. You know what I'm saying? Please. You arrived. You know what I'm saying? I think you rode to the same party. You rode to the same party where I'm at with somebody. And I know that you got to go drive Uber after this. Don't be talking to me like you done made a motherfucking come up. Like we have made it. No. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm talking to people, it's kind of hard to get them to understand these are the things that we have to do. And we have allowed ourselves to be fooled into believing that certain individual achievements trump, I ain't got no other term, trumps group achievement. It requires the group to protect the individual's achievement. At one point in time, They used to have to roll down on us in force because all of our successful people lived within the town. They used to have to come, and people, I want y'all to understand that when they came, this is why the first bomb had to be dropped on American soil on one of our towns, because they wasn't just coming up in that motherfucker talking about, nigga, move out the way. No. You come over here, you gonna catch these bullets. You come, they had to call out the National Guard. Exactly. They had to call the National Guards, and this was happening all over the goddamn country, family. All over the country. All over the country.
That's why they had to change the gun laws, you know.
Oh my God. I mean,
that's not why they didn't have to. That's why they chose. That's why the NRA, who was in support of all these damn gun laws coming into play, they didn't want to see black folks armed.
They didn't want to see us exercising our rights.
The NRA.
And we got to be clear about that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when we really start looking at the politics and the economics, you know what I'm saying? The politics and the economics, they work hand in hand. It's the politics that make sure you're able to keep your money. It's the politics that protects the money. And it's the money that make it possible for you to do the politics. It's like it's a reciprocity cycle that somewhere along the lines we done lost sight of. And because we lost sight of it, we getting whooped. Other people is coming into this country, standing on our goddamn backs, and because we are politically dumb, we don't even understand it. Because we're economically dumb, we don't even understand it. And they're not standing, and it's not just one.
We are politically dumb, and we are also emotionally needy.
And we just want to be accepted.
To the point where we think we're inclusive because I'm a part of the LGBTQ. I'm not black.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a part of the LGBTQ community, so I'm protected under them. But they don't give a fuck about you being black either. They have shown that over and over again.
I disagree. They care about it as long as it helps them. But once it no longer helps them, they will cast your ass to the side.
Which again means that they don't care about you. It's still all about them.
It's all about them.
There was no care for you in that.
I agree.
It's all about them. And just like the brothers and sisters here that was arrested during that one of those gay pride parades. And they didn't come out in large numbers to show up for those brothers and sisters that was arrested. That's why they now have two separate gay pride events on Gay Pride Weekend. Because the blacks had separated and they didn't feel supported by the whole LGBTQ thing, so they had to start their own. And there's other, and I still, even at that one, I see more whites there than I do blacks. But it is that, like you said, if they can't use you, you don't mean nothing to them at the end of the day. They say that, now you black first. You black first. And the same thing with the feminist movement. The white woman don't give a damn about the black woman in that movement. And they fought hard to really keep the black woman and her rights separate early on in those stages, even though, like you said, they would have faces to represent us to make it look good. But at the end, they still felt that black women were still beneath them in that movement. And if you look at the statistics, I was reading in this book that we're reading in class, at the ASCAT class, that out of all of the things they push for minorities, that white women benefited more from affirmative action than anybody did.
Oh my God. We know this. We know this well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know
it. But we got people who was like, I'm not black, I'm a feminist first. I'm a woman first. Okay. Okay. Those same programs that y'all put y'all on the line and said y'all wanted, y'all didn't even, who benefited from it more than anything? White women.
That's not true, Navita. They my friends.
So we have to realize that we have to be, because that's a protected class, but we are not a protected class.
Not at all.
So we all got to come together and realize we are what we are. Because we got enough of us here to do it, but when we start separating ourselves and pulling away because we want to belong to something else, that doesn't help us.
All right, so I'm gonna go and end this because I'm about to take my girl somewhere. Unless you got something else.
All right. Well, I will talk to you later. Nope, I don't have nothing else. I'm about to go down here and make me some chicken wings in my air fryer. It was nice hollering at you. Peace and love to the family listening. And I'll holler at you later.
All right, peace.
Peace.
All right, family. I'm about to get up. Brother Kwame looked up. He said it's cases in Texas and Michigan where I did not even start streaming on this. I don't know why I came on. Cases in Michigan and Texas where very young men became judged before any law degrees. So I got to figure out what's going on with my Streamlabs because it wasn't working. So I will get in contact with them. But I'm about to get my girls and we about to get up out of here. Can I finish my show? It's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. I want to once again apologize for the quality of the picture. For some reason, my Streamlabs did not work for me today. This is not the usual, but I did learn something from this. So now we will be able to have our movie talk type thing, so we could throw up some movies or some videos and stuff and just run them. Yeah. All right, but this brother Hot Tim, I want to remind you that you are now standing in the congregation of the mighty, the home of the stubborn minority, the
This is the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
No, this is the Heart of a Simple production, and we have done another daily toast. And I want to say happy solstice to all of y'all. This is a Heart of a Simple production. Shouts out to me 2666.
Merry Christmas!
Oh, I ain't do the giveaway yet. Now, by the way, we will be starting our giveaway on the one over the Black Signal on the 23rd. And we will be giving away the prize at the Kwanzaa event. If you are not at the Kwanzaa event, you will not win the prize. But those prizes that I'll be giving away online once I get this Streamlabs working, where you're going to be able to go on and qualify and use your points to buy tickets. I'm going to select the winner is going to be randomly selected out of all those that are linked into us through our YouTube page. You'll be able to get the prize no matter where you are. I already paid the packing and handling, all that. The prizes will be going out. So I'm looking forward to experimenting with this in the coming week. So family, y'all gone, chill during the longest night of the year, and you have a great time. This is Brother Hot Tim. I'm out.